Hey everybody, Barry here again. My sincerest apologies that I didn't film the last little bit, but I got some work done. I'm kind of glad I didn't film because it was quite frustrating, I gotta say. The cab was tipped down too much, so when I put the fender on, this white lip was down to like right here. And I could not figure it out. For the life of me, I could not figure it out. So I put up a couple shorts, and some very helpful people said, maybe you've got your cab mounts backwards, or the incorrect cab mounts up front or in the rear, or something like that. So I started comparing, and there were taller and shorter cab mounts, in fact. Switched out the front ones, and it was near perfect. So I just put one washer just in under here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's one washer in there that took up the remaining bit of space, and that just bolted right on. So that's very exciting. And the doors and all that stuff line up really well. The body lines on the truck look great. Now, if you're looking at the cladding on the door and saying, hey, that looks like it's headed downward, it's actually not. It's because the cladding actually gets thicker or higher as you go back, and that really threw me for a loop, but that's it. I'm here early, don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to bomb it on time lapse and get some work done on the front end. I'm not exactly sure how this bolts on. I know that the bolts here line up with the battery box, or the battery tray like that, but I'm still wondering what this piece is from. So we gotta go outside and see. We got more snow last night, so this is gonna be a task and a half again. I wonder when spring is supposed to be here. Well, let's get inside this thing, I guess. That's the PCM tray. So we got bolts here, and it goes over sideways. The triangle part comes up this way from what I can see. Parts trucks are great for spare parts, but they're also awesome as exploded 3D diagrams. I'm still having a wicked time trying to figure this thing out, man. There's some weirdness here, and I don't know what it is. Like, this can plug together, but then also this over here can plug into that. I don't get it. I really don't. This is some real heavy gauge wires. These are very light wires, and there's more of them. And over here, they maybe a little bit heavier than this one, but still there's a whole lot of wires in that one and not as many in this one. I seem to be missing two complete plugins here that go into these, and then whatever this one is, which may be the four-wheel drive, which I won't have anyway because this truck is all-wheel drive. So I have to go back out into the parts trucks and see if I can figure something out. So here is the 05 that I took the dash out of. Fuse block is there. It's a bit snowy looking.
this was for the electric fan, so I already unplugged that. What do we got? That's for the dash. I know that much. This, is that the other end of that really big, thick looking plug-in? I gotta find where that goes. It is too, because it's got pink wiring on it. New development. Remember that one with 3 small wires that I didn't know what it was, that I thought maybe was 4-wheel drive? It's also connected to this harness with the pink on it. And it's connected to this piece here, so just gonna see where that goes now. Let's see where it goes. I'll unplug that. That goes down and under the harness somewhere, or down and under the firewall. Weird. I gotta figure this out. Okay, so we've got this entire harness right here. This here I think is for the 4-wheel drive, because it goes down and plugs into that connector right there, which is taped to the front diff vent right there. This one comes up and goes to the fuse block. And then there's this big 12-pin harness or connector. And then there's this 3 one, which I think goes to the big thick one. I wonder if it's because this truck was electric shift 4x4. I wonder. Because the chassis harness that I used is from a manual shift 4-wheel drive. I wonder if that's what it is. Might have something to do with transfer case motor. I'll ask Joey when he gets here. So I know that's where that goes. I already got this one plugged in. I don't think it had this big connector here. I don't remember seeing that. Okay. This one here is not plugged into anything. This is very confusing, I must say. Okay, now we're over to the crew cab, which is also an electric shift 4x4. We can see here that we've got this pink cable, and then the female pink cable that was the same on the extended cab over there that we were looking at. That plugs together. So yeah, I think this has to do with the electric 4x4. So that might be like transfer case motor, power, signal, something like that. Mass confusion over this way, I gotta say. Okay, yeah. So that has to be 4-wheel drive electric stuff. It all comes down and goes down here to this one, and then follows down to the front diff down to here. Got it sorted out, I think. I think, at least. So this extended cab is 4x4 on the floor. And we can see that it's missing those big plugs. That's the dash harness there. It's missing like the big plugs, so that's a good sign. We've got a 12-pin with all these colors here. We've got the big dash plug, which we already know about. And then over here, there's a 10 with all of these wires. So I know they've got to be plugged in, because that's the same harness that's on my chassis. So I think it's got to go plug in something like that. I will get this figured out. It may take a little bit of time. I hope it doesn't impede with getting the truck running for the first time, because it might be a bit discouraging, but that's it. I got lots of time. We got it figured out. Woo, look at that. Joey and Brian were just by and gave me a lot of help with this thing. People who are more familiar with these trucks than I, and who will offer their help, are an amazing, endless resource. Got it figured out. Look at this. It could be tidied up a little bit, but when the case goes down over it, that's a major improvement. One thing I don't like, my little tabs right here are broken, so I'm gonna have to put a zip tie down over it. If I get in the mood, I may change the battery box, or the fuse block tray down here. But this thing is rough, and I don't want to push it, so this is what it gets for now. But hey, look at this thing. It has a fuse block. A couple of the connectors that I didn't know what they were for. Obviously, battery module. Completely forgot about it. And a couple plugs that go in under here. Obviously, we know that's the tack module. That's going to plug in over here when I get it mounted. Big progress today. So as of right now, I think the truck would actually turn on and probably turn over because everything here is hooked up. These two don't matter. That's four-wheel drive stuff for the transfer case motor and the front diff and all that, as we talked about before. Battery lugs, everything is all hooked up. Negative cables hooked up. This stuff, everything there is all like ready to go. Obviously, I don't have any of the headlights and all that done, and I wouldn't consider turning it over with transmission lines not hooked up, but it's very close. One thing I need to do is down here, and that is this air conditioning pressure sensor. I need to take one wire out of this and run it to where is it? The wideband, I think. Yeah, the back of the wideband, so that it can tell the PCM what voltage it is for the air-fuel ratio. I think I'm going to go and hook up a few more little brackets and stuff here while I'm here, get this coolant bottle hooked up and all that, and continue on putting this thing together. I'm not going to be turning it over or starting it in this video because I'm just not ready, and I don't want to get ahead of myself and get all excited and get it running, get it driving, not be able to stop because there's no brakes on it. Priorities. I just noticed that the fuse block cover that I have covers my electric fan relay kit thing here. I guess that was for a truck that never came with it. I don't want to use that. I'd like to have the one that has the little removable tray cover here. In case I ever need to replace a relay or something, I don't have to take this whole thing off. Let's go out back and see what I can find. Let's see if there's one in the old extended cab here. I don't know. I don't think so. Nope, no cover in that one. In the crew cab, not there. Let's see about inside. Gotta be one around here somewhere. I'll put the other one on if I have to, but it'd be cool if I didn't have to. It's a good chance it might be in the pan of one of these trucks. Nope, not there. I don't know. I have no idea. This is a V6, so I wonder if that's the same or not. Probably not. Nope, that one's solid too. I don't know. Anything on the Escalade, I wonder? Well, I don't see one there either. Oh well, I guess I'll have to put the other one on for now. I forgot that I had these too. This is off Cass's Escalade. Yeah, please don't tell her I robbed her engine covers. She'll be very happy. I got the fuse block cover put on, and I was like, oh, I should find the lid. I was like, where? Oh, look. A lid. Everybody just collectively facepalm for me, will you? It's funny, the correct one even fit better. I don't know how this comes off. I want to break it. Oh, okay. Ah, I didn't break it. Nice. It's funny how, look, it covers up 2 of the relays. You can't even change them. What's the good of that? Mint. It's really starting to look like an engine bay. It's too bad the covers don't just like clip right on, because it would have been really nice to have that. I'll see if I can make them fit. If not, I guess Cass will get them back. Well, stuff is happening. I hooked up the hood cable. That was kind of cool because I cut that off when I removed the cab, not knowing that's what I did. And also the throttle cable. So I still don't know where I'm supposed to hook that up. Anyway, I'm going to hook up this stuff here, the airbag sensors, and then this is the headlight plugs. A couple things down here to hook up. I think there's a fog light connector down there. That might be this one. Chris Jones actually sent me new fog lights for this thing, like brand new ones. So I'm very excited to be able to use those now. And yeah, I think the fog light connector is down here. I bet you it's that one. Anyway, I'll figure it out. That should be the ambient temperature sensor. That goes somewhere. I don't remember exactly where, but around here somewhere. Maybe on the fan shroud? I don't know. I'll figure it out anyway. So I'm going to hook up whatever I can in here right now. That way I can put the grill in. Much excite. Oh yeah, I probably should put a return on that power steering line so I don't spit all that fluid all over the floor when I get it running. Stuff down here is starting to get hooked up. I got the 2 thingies back here. There's 2 because of the Escalade. What am I trying to say? Washer pump motor things. I got those hooked up. This got to go back down there like that. Kind of like that. I'll fix that after. I don't know what this one is though. I don't know. This, again, I think is fog light. These here are for the headlights, like I said earlier. I don't know what that is. And it seems like it's only on this side. I have an ambient temperature sensor. Not quite sure where that goes. I can look on another truck and see. I thought it went on there, like here somewhere. I really thought that. And there's another one. It actually has 2. That must be for maybe the mirror up there. I'll figure out where that one goes. If it comes down to it, I'll just drill a hole and put it like right there. If that matters or not, I don't know. I think right now I'll put the radiator in because that seems to be the next thing on the list. Put the rad in and then put the fans on. This is all getting really exciting now. One thing I'm gonna do is blow out the transmission cooler, because anytime a transmission goes to pieces, which is often with a 4L60, all those metal shavings end up in here and plug the cooler up. And then you end up blowing up more transmissions. So I'm just gonna put this on here and go poof, and like flow it back and forth a couple times just to make sure that it's not plugged. Make sure I get it nice and clean. I got the camera in kind of an awkward spot there, but let's try it. Oh boy. Oh yeah, okay. Well, it's not completely plugged. I got some fluid out of it. Yep, some stuff coming out there. I'm gonna float back again. Case. Oh, there we go. That's better. Just got to plug off these little holes. Yeah, there's some nastiness in there, man. I'm just going to keep doing that a couple times. That's disgusting. Ooh, it's all in the air everywhere. Yum. Airborne Dexron soup. Okay, that's enough of that. You might not be able to tell, but it's actually foggy with Dexron goodness. Oh, I got my stuff full of transmission fluid. Gross. Well, I got the front end on. It looks beautiful. I do have like the gap between the everything and the bumper. Not sure what that's all about. I looked down at my black Escalade and it doesn't look quite like that. But maybe it's just me, I don't know, but it seems like a lot. I might try to shim up the bumper a little bit to make it a little bit higher, but I'll deal with that later. Just gotta clip this thing on, but hey, we've got an engine bay, man. We have an engine bay, even radiator and everything. I gotta remember, actually, I'm gonna go do that right now while I remember. The clips that go on right here, those little black plastic covers, they stop those horseshoe clips from flying off and emptying your transmission. And I did see them on a truck outside, so I'm gonna go pull them off that. And if you notice that I look like absolute death, it's because I woke up at 2:30 in the morning, no idea why, couldn't get back to sleep. So I played Skyrim for like an hour and a half till I could sleep, and it just absolutely wrecked me. And because I came in a couple hours early this morning to work, I think I'm going to change the shift cable. That's going to give me enough time to start it, finish it without any interruptions, because I don't want to end up routing it the wrong way, forgetting, and then going back and doing it all wrong. So I'm just going to pull the truck back, pull the old shift cable out because it's only half there and it seems like it's kind of kinked. So I'll throw that away and put the new shift cable in. Every time I add something, it gets harder to push. Ugh. Oh yeah, I gotta fix that rust too. What do you know? You can see the shifter down here. It's not doing so good. It's missing about 5 or 6 feet of cable. And I really wish I had caught that when I had the entire dash out. It would have been a lot easier to install this thing. I took the door off because it took like about 30 seconds to take it off, and now I got lots of room and all kinds of light too.
Hey, the shift cable is in. That was fast. One of the last things I have to do in the interior, besides, you know, putting in all the trim and stuff, is adding the hole in the firewall up here, around there somewhere, for the electric pedal harness to go through. Where this was a V6, it had cable throttle. I don't have that anymore. I've got electric. So right down here is a little dimple somewhere. I can't feel it right now, but I can feel it from the inside anyway. Where you drill the hole and then feed the harness through for the tack module, which I also need to mount on the firewall. Getting really close, only a few more things left to wire up. I got my handy dandy caliper. We'll go out and check the size of that hole. Well, let's go right here. So we're right under the main harness right there. It is what do we got? 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches inside. So just under 1 3/4 inches. The little knob thing is kind of in the way, but it's just in under 1 3/4 inches, or 42 millimeters. Look at all the tracks I've got made going to the different parts trucks. So I just went and pulled this jet one out of the 1 3/4 slot there. And it was like, cool, I got one. And then I read it, and it's 1/7/8. Cool, I don't have one. I've got an old piece of shelving here, and I'm just gonna test out a couple of these. Like if I can get the 1.5 inch one to work maybe, or this 1 7/8. It's better to do a test piece than it is to try to undrill a hole in that firewall. Well, I know using the correct part would be the correct way to do it, but I don't have it right now. Well, 1 7/8 is no good. Let's try the 1.5 inches. This arbor is bent a little bit, so the hole saw walks like this as it's drilling. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for this. Well, let's see. I remembered to spray cutting oil, or well, I just use honeydew. I remembered that on the second one. Probably should have done it the first time too, but let's see. Ooh. We're a bit on the small side there, aren't we? Really don't want to cut off any of those wires. So I think this one is definitely not going to fit either. Well, I just spent like 15 seconds with this burr bit, and I've got it just about perfect. And I'm not going to push it any further because then I have to try to get it out. But look at that. It will work. Hey, that looks factory. Great. Now my pedal box will go click right into there. Great. I gotta get a loaner Joey's riv nut gun to put threads in the firewall so I can bolt the tack module on. Again, this truck didn't have one. So I'm not gonna go use self-tappers or nothing like that. I thought about tacking some studs or like cut the heads off some bolts and tack them onto the firewall, but I'll see how this riv nut thing works out first. And then if that doesn't work out, well, I'll figure something else out. But for now, I'm all done because I got a half an hour left before I gotta go to work, and this shop is in dire need of a good cleaning. I've got stuff everywhere. The floor is rotten. I wasted coolant and put kitty litter down, and that's been tracking all over the shop. I don't like it at all. So I'm just gonna push the truck back, slam the door back on it, put it up in the air, and then go right through this place for the next half hour. Presentation is half the video, isn't it? And I've been a little bit slack lately. So I'm gonna go fix that up right now. So I'm all done for today. What do you think? Got a lot done. Got a lot done. This is the tail end of it now, and I'm terrified. But I'm sure it'll all work out. And if it doesn't, we'll make it work out. So thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks to my YouTube members, patrons, and subscribers. If you want to check out my Patreon, it's patreon.com/stationroadratrods. My YouTube members link is down here. And thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody.